Playing a Hobgoblin character in 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. Welcome to my channel. I focus on tabletop role-playing games, video games, and science fiction. Volo's Guide to Monsters allows you to play, or gives you the rules to play, a Hobgoblin character in the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. Compared to the other characters, you get +2 in Constitution and +1 in Intelligence. So there isn't an exact comparison. Probably the closest comparison is the Hill Dwarf, because that has a +2 in Constitution and a +1 in Wisdom, where the Hobgoblin has a +2 in Constitution and a +1 in Intelligence. So they're similar in some ways to a Hill Dwarf. They both have dark vision of some sort, and they play that way. The interesting thing about the Hobgoblin is it describes them as being much more militaristic, much more disciplined. They have a high matter of discipline in a rough and crude thing. The thing that I find was interesting was what was left out that is in the monster manual. And the monster manual of Hobgoblins includes martial advantage, which once per turn the Hobgoblin can deal an extra 7 or 2d6 damage to a creature it hits with a weapon attack if that creature is within 5 feet of an ally of the Hobgoblin that isn't incapacitated, which makes groups of Hobgoblins kind of interesting. But that isn't in the player character. At least that's not mentioned in Volo's Guide. That makes the monster version of the Hobgoblin different than the player character version. But all of them despise elves. So if you're going to play a Hobgoblin character, you have a difficult time if your character is going to be in a party with elves, or if you're venturing into an area where there are elves, because there's a natural hatred of elves. At least that's the way it's sort of described. They hate elves. So that would be the challenge of role-playing a Hobgoblin, is how would you handle interactions with elves and what isn't also described as half-elves, but you just sort of think of them as elves and just want to kill them anyway. So that could add some interesting challenges to playing the Hobgoblin character. Their +2 to Constitution is a nice benefit, particularly if you're going to go into a fighter type character, one of the fighter barbarian, or one of those type classes. A Hobgoblin Paladin sounds kind of strange, but it's because but that's possible, I guess. It's just that that's a little unusual, and the way I would view them as more as the barbarian or the fighter type character. The fighter probably is what I would lean toward, but that's just me. I'd like to hear your opinion of playing the Hobgoblin character. There's nothing really distinguishing about this one. He doesn't have as interesting a background per se as like the Tabaxi or the Triton or something else like that. I'd love to see what you've come up with. A Hobgoblin bard, I'm not sure what kind of war songs it would be playing. That would be interesting. Sort of picture maybe something like playing a bagpipe, which would put them in with the Scottish, but that's just my biases showing through on that. Makes me think of the movie Braveheart with them as hobgoblins. So give me your comments below, and I'd love to see what you've done. Have you played Hobgoblin characters? Do you want to play Hobgoblin characters? What attracts you to playing this particular race? Thank you for watching my video. I look forward to learning what you think about this video. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate all your comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give me a thumbs down. I appreciate both forms of feedback. If you're new here and would like to subscribe, you can click on the icon on the left. If you're interested, there's more content on the right.